Windows 1.0. Released in 1985, Windows 1.0 was Microsoft's very first attempt at a graphical operating system. Instead of typing commands into a black screen, users could now click on windows, icons, and menus using a mouse. Windows couldn't even overlap each other yet, and most programs still had to be run through separate floppy disks. It was slow and limited, but it planted the seed for everything that came after. Windows 2.0. Launched in 1987, Windows 2.0 fixed one of the biggest complaints from before. Windows could finally overlap and be resized. It also introduced keyboard shortcuts still used today like copy and paste, along with support for expanded memory that let programs run more smoothly. This version made Windows feel less like an experiment and more like an actual tool people could work with. Windows 3.0. Released in 1990, Windows 3.0 was the version that truly took off commercially. It introduced Program Manager and File Manager, along with support for more colors and better graphics performance. This was the first version that made Microsoft a serious name in home and office computing, selling millions of copies worldwide and forcing competitors to take graphical interfaces seriously. Windows 95. In 1995, everything changed for everyday users. Windows 95 introduced the Start menu and taskbar, features so intuitive that they're still core parts of Windows nearly 3 decades later. It also merged MS-DOS and Windows into one smoother experience, and its launch was so hyped that people lined up outside stores at midnight just to buy it. Windows 98. Released in 1998, Windows 98 built on that success by adding native support for USB devices and integrating Internet Explorer more deeply into the system. It made connecting hardware and browsing the internet far easier at a time when home internet use was rapidly growing across the world. Windows ME. Launched in 2000, Windows ME was aimed at home users and introduced features like System Restore and improved media tools. However, it was built on the aging MS-DOS foundation one last time, leading to frequent crashes and instability. It's widely remembered as one of the weakest releases in Windows history. Windows 2000. Released the same year, Windows 2000 took the opposite approach, building on the stable NT architecture for business and professional users. It offered far better reliability than ME and quietly proved that the NT foundation was the future direction for all of Windows. Windows XP. In 2001, Windows XP finally merged the two paths together, combining the stability of NT with a friendly, colorful interface for everyday users. It became one of the most beloved versions ever made, staying in active use for over a decade, with businesses and even ATMs still running it years after its official retirement in 2014. Windows Vista. Released in 2007, Vista introduced a completely redesigned interface with transparent glass effects and tighter security features like user account control. But it launched with major performance problems and poor compatibility with existing hardware, making it one of the most criticized versions in Windows history. Windows 7. In 2009, Windows 7 arrived to fix almost everything wrong with Vista. It was faster, more stable, and refined the visual design people liked from Vista without the performance issues. It quickly became a fan favorite and remained one of the most widely used operating systems for years afterward. Windows 8. Released in 2012, Windows 8 took a bold risk by removing the Start menu entirely and replacing the interface with touch-friendly tiles designed for tablets. Most desktop users found this confusing and difficult to navigate, making it one of the most controversial updates Microsoft ever released. Windows 8.1. In 2013, Microsoft quickly responded to that backlash with Windows 8.1, bringing back a version of the Start button and offering more customization options. It was a clear sign that Microsoft had misjudged how attached users were to the traditional desktop experience. Windows 10. In 2015, Windows 10 brought back the full Start menu and combined the best parts of Windows 7 and Windows 8 into one balanced system. Microsoft also shifted to a new model, treating it as an ongoing service that would receive continuous updates instead of releasing an entirely new numbered version every few years. Windows 11. Released in 2021, Windows 11 introduced a cleaner, more centered interface, rounded corners, and deeper integration with Android apps and Microsoft Teams. It also raised the minimum hardware requirements significantly, requiring newer security chips like TPM 2.0, leaving many older PCs unable to upgrade.